This is Nick Hinckley with New Roots News, and I'm here with Joe Esposito. Joe is a co-pastor here at Missio Church in the historic Kenwood area of St. Petersburg, Florida. How are you today, Joe?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, too. So there's a name that keeps coming around town a little bit. I've heard it more and more. It's Missio Day. Tell me what that is.
Well, as you said, Missio Day is a church community located in Kenwood. But more than that, Missio Day is a philosophy that we need to go to those in our communities who need our love and our support and give that to them wherever they are. So church is less about coming to a space that we think of as church, and church is more about being the church wherever it is that we're situated right now. The church isn't the place that we go to, but the church is who we are. And so if that's the case, then we depend on one another. We depend on the community around us to be the body of Christ wherever it is that we are. In other words, the church is the people rather than the building. One of the things that we're trying to do is to help people see that what changes our lives is to really look around us and to see the needs that exist around us, and then to begin to meet those needs wherever it is we're situated. We want to create a space where people can have conversation rather than feel like they're being talked at.
We recently covered an event, a march on City Hall on Human Rights Day, and they were protesting the development of the new jail annex, specifically to house the homeless and quote unquote clean up the streets of St. Pete.
Right.
What is Missio's role in supporting the homeless community through that, and what is your stance on that development of that jail annex?
Yeah, I think that the jail annex could be a good thing if it were up to the people themselves, whether or not they wanted to be there. I guess I start getting a little bit nervous when the mayor talks about using that, and he's used this language, using that as a way to force people into either accepting the help in this very specific way or going to real jail. And it's been in the St. Pete Times and other places that the mayor intends to essentially say to people on the street, you no longer really have freedom of movement, you don't have freedom of speech, you don't have these things. What you have is a choice, and that is you can go to the jail annex or you can go to jail. And that's where I think we kind of step over a line. So I guess my position would be we're kind of robbing people of their humanity at that point. Some of the basic rights that you and I are afforded are not being afforded to them because they're poor. And that's a problem for me.
Now, you have a gathering every Monday night here at Missio Church, specifically for the homeless. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what that mission is?
Yeah, about 2 years ago, a number of us came together, and we wanted to set forth a way where we could engage with people that we would never otherwise have reason or that we would never cross paths with throughout our normal lives. So we intention to kind of cross the tracks, if you will, to the other side of the tracks and meet with people that we would never otherwise see. And so the way that we do that is every Monday we gather here at 6:59, we say. That's just so people don't show up late at 7. But we gather at 6:59 and we make 150 bag lunches. We brew 5 gallons of coffee. We have water and fruit juice. And then we go to where the people are. And so we meet with those who weren't able to make it into shelters for the evening. We meet with those who have fallen on hard times, that are in a situation that belies their humanity, and we try to confer on them that we see in them humanity. Because I think all too often people just pass by, or even worse, they shoot them awful looks that makes them feel like they're less than human. And the reality is they're human just as you and I are human. And I think if we forget that, you know, we're pretending to be something that we're not. We're not any better than they are. We're just in a different circumstance. Sometimes we'll have 30, 40 people here on a Monday night, and we talk about it all the time. If we're going out to just feed people, we only need really 4 people to execute that task. But if we're going out to find in them the face of Christ, if we're going out to engage and to hear stories and to honestly just give somebody the opportunity to look you in the eye and to share their story with you, if that's what we're doing, then we don't have enough people. We can always use more. because there's plenty of people that have wonderful stories to tell. Not all of them are true, but I believe most of them are, and especially when you sit down on a curb next to somebody and ask them just to share their story, not so that they can get a handout, not so that they can get what they need, but just for the sheer joy of sharing their story. I think you get some pretty candid expressions during times like that.
Well, Joe, thank you for your time today. For those of you watching, you can find out more about Missio Day and what they're doing in the community at
www.themissioday.com.